And here we go with episode 4, the continuation of the draft. We'll put the symbol here, and yeah, done. Okay. It'll be edited in later, I'm sure. Welcome. As you can see, the Red Wings did continue to draft. That's important. They did keep drafting. It's good for them. It's good for everyone. With the 36th pick in the second round, the Red Wings select Shai. Boom. A left-handed defenseman at 6'3". Big guy. And I think if you look at what Yzerman's doing since the moment he got here, he has been selecting large defensemen, shut-down defensemen, some that have a little bit more offensive talent than others, but generally speaking, the plan is 6'3", 6'4", Simon Edmondson, picked earlier in the draft. 6'4", Maurice Snyder, picked last year. 2 years ago. No, last year. And, hey, you're going to have one of the tallest defensive teams in the NHL. And that clearly is the plan. Going from there, we'll see what happens. I think for most people, having a long reach and at defense is helpful. It makes blocking shots easier. It makes getting the puck out of the zone easier. It also makes getting the puck into the zone harder for the opponent. So there's lots of reasons to think that having 3 or 4 giant defensemen is a good thing overall for the Detroit Red Wings defensive pairing going forward. So you got Philip Hronik is also 6 foot. I mean, not giant, but still bigger than your usual guys. And then you got like a Troy Stetcher who's 5'10", who's a little bit smaller, but he's certainly good enough to play in the league. The next selection in the third round was Carter Mazur at number 70, left wing goal scorer. This man had 44 points in 47 games. One interesting tidbit about both him and Shai is they're going to be playing together at the University of Denver alongside a 2019 pick of the Red Wings. So a lot of Detroit pipeline going through the University of Denver, which is interesting. So because we are a completely raw show, I will be flipping the board. It's not something you might see where people are editing, and we're not to the point where I'm worried about doing too much editing anyways, because, hey, we're just here to talk a little bit of sports. So, in the fourth round, the Red Wings decided to go with a man named Redmond Savage. Red Savage is a great name, and he is Brian Savage's son, who played in the NHL for quite a while. Unlike, Macho Man Randy Savage, still good lineage either way. A two-way center who is expected to be able to, play on both sides of the puck, not too worried about, what to get out of your fourth and fifth rounders, although when fourth and fifth rounders hit, it's the reason why you go from being a good team to a great team, as opposed to hoping every year that you can only make your first round, picks work. In the fifth round, we had 2 selections. We picked Liam Dower-Nilsson, a two-way center as well, from Frölunda HC, who that's played with Simon Nielsen, or Simonson, played with Simonson, our first round pick. And also in the fifth round, we decided to select Oscar Plandowski. Oscar is a right-hand defenseman, and he is known for his great skating. He is, a real defensive man, but his skating is known as his highlight his mother is a skate instructor and team coach, I believe. And in the sixth round, with our last pick of the draft, we picked Pascal Zito, who played for the Windsor Spitfires, who had a cancellation of a season, unfortunately, due to COVID. So you didn't get a lot to see out of him, and he's a very much just a shot in the dark. In the end, I think you can see what the direction was this year. It was defense, defense, big time two-way centers, people who could play down the middle and in the back. You get your goaltender of the future with Sebastian Cossa, and I think the important thing to know about that is almost any goaltender who's selected in the draft is 2 to 3 years away, usually. Even the best, even the most surefire, absolute, that's an NHLer, you still can give them time, and that's a good reason why Alex Nedeljkovic is in town for a 2-year contract. He's a younger goaltender, and by the time he is in his prime, it might be the time that you start seeing Sebastian Cossa and him splitting time. There's a lot of guys in the pipeline, and what Yzerman's doing is just hoarding talent and trying to make the best of it. I think this might be the last year, though, that the Red Wings are in the bottom 10 selections. I mean, it's just with other teams, somehow the Sabres have made their team even worse. I don't know how they managed to do these things, but I don't think that's a very good team. I don't know who they plan to throw out on the ice, but it's a bad organization, and people don't want to play for it. So it shows in the standings, and it shows in the everyday media that we see. It's a bit of a circus. Boston is taking a step back with Krejci retiring / not retiring, whatever he's doing. He's going back to Czech to play hockey. That's awesome for him, but for Boston, that's certainly a blow to their second line. Not that they can't replace it, but can they? David Krejci is more than just on their second line as a center. He's a bit of a person in the way that Boston was built. So they could be taking a step back. Carolina, you have no idea what's going to happen now that with their goaltending situation. They could take a step back. It's all over the place, and there's teams that are actively, on the way out. Teams like Arizona, who seem to have hit the reset button. And we'll go on from there. There's other teams to talk about, especially with the trades that happened after the draft. But for the most part, I'm surprisingly happy for all the selections that were made, especially if you told me that during the process we would trade away 3 or 4 of those picks to move up or get other players. So with that, I will say thank you for the view. Take care, and we'll see you at the next one.